What's up, Dolphin fans? I'm Travis Wingfield, joined today by Adam Engroff. Adam, thanks for coming in, man.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me.
What is your title and role with the Miami Dolphins?
I am the co-director of Player Personnel, and basically I oversee the college scouting department. It's just another way of getting another set of eyes on the player. And I'll go to a school, a scout in August or September will say, hey, you need to go check this guy out. So I like to see the top 150 players in the country before the draft, and I follow up, and I just do it like what any other scout and any other NFL team would do. Go to the school, talk to the coaches about the person, which is obviously very important to us, and watch them practice, maybe catch a game if I'm there, if I time it up right. So just another cog in the wheel as far as our scouting process.
So I want to talk about four guys these days. Start here with Jerome Baker, who just got a second contract with the Miami Dolphins. And he does things the right way, obviously. But when you kind of had a chance to get to know him early on in the scouting process, what about his character and makeup really stood out to you guys?
Very smart, passionate about the game, very productive college player. But we knew that he loved football. He was very athletic and he's very fast. He could run, and a very smart football player.
What made him really stand out among his peers in the linebacker class that year in that draft class?
Speed. He can really run. The Big Ten championship game, he really stood out. He was all over the field, and there's just something you can't teach, and that's speed, and that's what he has.
I'll never forget the rep where he ran on a wheel route with Saquon Barkley at the sideline, step for step. That was really cool to see.
That's what he does.
That's what he does. What about him, made him a good fit for the Miami Dolphins on the field and also in the locker room?
Well, we touched on it just earlier. It's the football makeup, which is important to Chris. The football intelligence is key. Can he learn the defense? Can he play multiple roles, which he has proved he can do. He does a lot of things in our defense right now. So, and then just get to know the person, if he's a good fit for the organization. He's just like interviewing for any other job. At the Combine, this is basically a job fair, but Jerome fit that bill.
That's one of the things that he is, right? A big leader on this Miami Dolphins football team. When you kind of did some background on him, what was some of the common things that were told to you about the way he led at Ohio State there? The
coaches all stressed, he's a playmaker, he's tough, he plays hard, and there's a lot of upside with him because he was younger. And they thought there was a real high ceiling for him, which he's proved to be.
We're going to stay in that position group and talk about Jalen Phillips, who had a different run up to the draft without the Combine last year. How was that process different in getting to know Jalen Phillips, both from the character standpoint, makeup, and traits as well?
He's an interesting story for me personally because I have some very good friends that were on the UCLA coaching staff at the time. And I was out at practice, and they're showing me the players, this guy, and then I go, who's that guy? And they're like, that's our #1 recruit. He's going to be a big-time player, big NFL, prospect. And I was like, that guy looks like a first-round pick right there. And he's a true freshman, so he's just a very gifted athlete, and he's come a long way, and it's a long journey for him. But seeing him that first day, it's kind of like come full circle. And he's a hell of a player.
What about his game and his traits as far as pass rush? Setting a strong edge and the multiple things he does. What did you see about his tape that really stood out to you guys?
Well, #1. A complete freak athlete. He can do whatever he wants on a football field, which not all guys can do. But again, I'm going to go back to speed, high motor, relentless pursuit, a natural pass rusher who can run like that, who's so physically gifted. He's got all the traits you can't teach, so that's why he was a first-round pick.
What about his journey that people maybe haven't heard about? Can you tell us about with Jalen Phillips?
What's really special about him is he went through a lot as a person, and then in his football career, and he could have walked away from football really, and he showed his passion and commitment to the game by moving across the country, sitting out a year, getting bigger and stronger, coming in the program, keeping to his goal, and then becoming a first-round pick. So I think his journey is probably the coolest thing about him that people don't know about him.
Let's stay in that linebacker room with Andrew Van Ginkel, who was a 5th-round draft pick, who, he had a longer journey in terms of going from multiple schools too. What about him really stood out in the way you guys kind of went into his investigation and background and trying to find out about him? As far as the mental makeup and character, what stood out about Andrew Van Ginkel?
Another interesting story, small school guy that just wanted to prove himself at the next level. And the thing about Andrew is, he's very athletic for his size, and he's very instinctive. He's a playmaker, and he just kind of knows how to be around the ball and make a play when it counts.
I like to say that I don't think that his production matches what he actually does in the football field for us
exactly.
as far as the sacks go last year. So what are some things that maybe go unnoticed by the casual fan that you really like about his game?
Well, he does a lot of things in the defense, dropping in coverage, sliding at blitzing, lining up everywhere, left side, right side. He's just so versatile because he's very smart, and the athletic ability. He's one of those guys who I always like to describe as a pain in the ass player because, like you said, he might not make the sack, but he contributes to the pressure or the play or does the right thing so somebody else can come in and make a play.
So one more guy that makes plays, and we'll go to the offensive side here, is Mike Gesicki, and he was a second-round pick back in 2018. What really stood out about his game when you guys first got a look at him and got to meet him?
In college, going back to another Big Ten championship game, he made some unbelievable catches in the red zone, deep balls, and just like we've seen at the NFL level, the rare body control and ball skills and hands are what separated him. But he's a weapon in the pass game. He's a mismatch player. He did that in college.
Seems like more and more these days, multi-sport athletes make the jump to the NFL, and tight ends in particular, and basketball. But he also had the volleyball background. How much of that did you guys kind of look into as far as his athletic ability in other sports?
It's kind of just like, I would say, icing on the cake. You know, obviously we just watch the football and what they do on the field, and then you watch the body control and the hands, and then, you know, our area scout or one of the other scouts like, you should see this guy's dunking highlights. And so we put it on, we're like, holy crap, this guy can elevate, block shots. And I didn't see any volleyball tape, so I got to be honest there, but the basketball stuff was very impressive. If you guys haven't watched it, it's pretty sweet watching him dunk on people and alley-oop, windmill. He can do it all.
I love that you're watching the basketball tape. I do want you to see the volleyball though too, because the spikes are they're pretty impressive as well.
Can't imagine the guys just slamming the ball on.
Yeah, it's not fair for the other team. But you know, going back to kind of the character stuff and the makeup, and you know, Mike is a high energy guy. What did you really notice about him that stood out at first, as far as the makeup goes?
I mean, fun guy to be around, big personality. You know, lights up a room when he came in and talked to us. Very smart. He's an easy one. You don't feel uncomfortable around him, and those kind of guys are kind of fun to interview because you just get to know that the person, as far as they're just good guys to be around, guys you want to go have a beer with.
Adam Engroff, appreciate your time today, sir.
Thanks.
Thanks a lot.
Thanks, Travis.